Good evening. Welcome to Explore the Beyond Scales of Destiny, episode 31. Very excited. Hello, I am Meglo. This is Explore the Beyond. This is Scales of Destiny. Black screen right now. Fine, don't worry. Got it under control. I hope you're all doing well. I hope your day, evening, night, morning is going splendidly. And I hope you're looking forward to a good few hours of D&D. I certainly am. I've been looking forward to D&D all day. Hello, Rando 303. Let's just get into it, shall we? Let's just bring in the crew. See what they're up to.
That was
will
fun,
be a
though.
puddle by the end of it.
Or Puddles. Puddles is quite a cute name for a pet, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Aww.
I think that's the name of my my friend. If you translate their name from Spanish.
Aw. What
Puddles.
what sort of animal is it?
No, it's a person.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Wow, yathina. Imagine offending someone like that.
They don't know who I am. It's okay.
Anyway, Josh,
Hello.
you have been volunteered
I know.
to do today's recap.
Yes.
So, take it away.
Well, last week we started in the Dwarven Heart pub, talking about the alleged gem / beanbag now, and then now goes off to the shopkeeper, and I don't think I actually ever wrote his name down, to try and buy a forgery kit. As now does this, Sköld, Vic, and Aqua go to help out at the church a bit more. And Aqua and Vic talk about the vision that they saw to Sköld. After that, Sköld goes in to talk to the priest, asks him if he knows any information, basically, about the gem and that. Doesn't really get much information from that. Where am I? Sköld then shows the priest was it an artifact? The machine that we got from the Goblin Cave very early on.
Ballista.
Plans for it, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And then the priest actually gives us a bit of paper saying that we're basically heroes. And that's it. We go meet now back at the pub. And we kind of spend the day in the pub. Now uses her forgery kit. Vic looks over his ruins. Sköld looks at all his items, because that's what Sköld does. Aqua brought back Echo. And it was pretty much just a long day of rest. And we then headed to the jail to see if Rukan was finally awake. Where Sköld tries to talk to him. That fails. Now tries to talk to him. We actually find out about some of the things in the volcano. And we tell him we can help him if he can help us. But he's pretty reluctant to trust us, which is fair. We're reluctant to trust him. Sköld tries to buy him out, but that's not an option. He costs too much. We're not buying him. And then now says that gives him one last ultimatum, that if he draws us a map, we will free him. And we basically head back to the pub waiting for an answer. The guard then just hands us a map that now luckily uses her fire to reveal it because it was just an invisible piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then Aqua heads out with the invisibility ring and Echo, and uses Echo to drop the ring. Not quite doing it perfectly as he wanted it to, but the ring got to the jail. So whether or not he gets it or not, we're not sure on that one. And then we all head back to our rooms, where we all have weird dreams. Well, 3 of us have dreams. Now dreamt about a house. Sköld dreamt about working in a forge. Aqua pukes everywhere because he's an alcoholic apparently. And Vic has a nightmare. But that's it for the night, and then we all head up. But because of the smell, none of us have breakfast, and we just head straight off.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, don't forget that you have inspiration for today.
You have inspirations, Gold.
Oh yeah, that was.
Because of you are.
His amazing dream.
Yes.
Yeah, it gave you inspiration.
Spot.
The 4 of you start heading out of the city. There's a fair bit of action. There's a lot of talk of the fight that you had, of an outsider being captured, and all that entails. As you walk through the city, you realize actually it's quite a small city in like just general size. Basically the harbor and the area you were in is easily by far the most like inhabited area. Moving out towards the city, it's a very sparse but still fairly lively city. No walls, however, open to the elements. Doesn't take you long to start heading out of the city into a sort of fairly comfortable looking road. I say comfortable, that's probably not the right word. Easy going, I guess. Well maintained, definitely. Dwarven road.
Yep.
Sköld, you know from experience, having lived here for most of your life, that the main roads of Kharissgard are defended or patrolled essentially by guard posts. Every sort of mile, well, no, not mile, every hour of travel essentially would have a guard post stationed along, which helps massively in the decrease of bandits and banditry in general, because each guard post has 3 guards posted there. 1 to go run to the next post along an alert, and then the other 2 would come and help deal with the problem. And this is basically maintained along the entirety of the main country roads of the whole island. You know that you're in for a fairly comfortable and safe journey, as long as you fairly comfortable and safe journey as long as you stick to them. There we go. I got distracted by chat, sorry.
stick on the path, stay off the moor.
Yeah, basically.
Observer's still blind.
Observer's not blind. Observer's just not on the road yet.
Oh.
I know. Fancy.
There
Just
we
being
go.
fancy schmancy.
No.
So, as you leave the city, the road's fairly busy. Plenty of people walking by. The majority, and I mean like 98% of the people walking by are dwarves. There's the occasional human, a tiefling, and a few gnomes and halflings in there, but very sparse, and all with at least one dwarf as an escort.
I was about to ask. I was like, do I have to report anyone here?
Nope.
Not
Everyone is
people.
well escorted.
Okay, good. Can I keep an eye out for any groups that don't have any dwarves with them?
You can make sure you keep a perception check on the go, yeah.
Just 'cause I'm kind of curious what kind of groups wouldn't have one if they are legit also.
And whether or not they'd be up for a bribe, so we keep our mouth shut.
That's down to you.
I'll say that you'll be using your passive perception to kind of keep track of any untoward groups that stand out, you know?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, everybody is fairly controlled. Like, there's a few rowdy groups. Most of them are just traders and travelers heading towards the coast. Please hold for a moment while I... Actually, no. Carry on. Feel free to talk. I don't know why I'm sat here making you keep quiet.
I suppose I'll be leading out in front because I know the way and everything like that. I mean, it is a road, but don't know. There could be a fork in the road.
So the travel is around 3 days, yeah?
Yeah.
To
Yeah, about that.
Khir-Doral. Okay. Guys, I'm wondering whether I should send a message to Jambari just to keep her updated.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
What are you going to tell her, though?
I'm going to tell her that there's something dangerous in the volcano, that we are on our way to Khir-Doral, that we don't have a word on the beanbag yet.
Maybe not mention the beanbag bit yet.
Why?
So she doesn't think that we haven't at least not heard anything about it. More as we're still learning.
I mean, she knows that we're here because of that. But we don't, I think it's important to tell her that we don't have anything concrete on her, on the
Yeah.
beanbag yet. So she doesn't,
Yeah.
just to keep her updated that she knows we're still on the case, that we're still, working and we're not going off the grid with her money.
I'm sure they're following us somehow.
Yeah, she seems powerful enough to know where we are and what we're up to.
But
Okay.
if like, for example, like, she thinks, if we think that maybe there's a dragon still in this volcano, and you tell her this as well, then maybe she'll have some advice.
I don't think it's a dragon, though. We've been told it's not a dragon.
Well, a dragon type thing, maybe at least something that's big enough to be in a dragon lair, or I guess it could be something that overtook a dragon lair, couldn't it?
Okay. So yeah, everyone okay with me sending her a message?
Yeah, I think that's a good
go
idea.
ahead.
Okay. So we've been traveling for a while. After maybe 3 hours or so, we're taking a little break and sit by the side of the road for a little bit, and I'm using one of the spell scrolls to send a message to Jambari Udun. It's 25 words, isn't it?
25 or 6, yeah. Something like that.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sending a message to the Heavenly Lady, Jambari Udun. Oh God.
on, you can do it. You've seen Critical Role. You know how this works.
Yeah. Huge danger in volcano.
Hmm.
Probably not dragon. No word on the beanbag. Sorry, egg in quotation marks. That's actually words. Yet.
That's
Having
actually
to-
words yet.
No, that's
Nope.
actually words is
Nope.
is not what I said.
Nope. it
Heading
is.
to Khir-Doral. Speak
Heading
soon.
to
Bye.
Khir-Doral. Speak soon. Bye. There we go. You fit. You're fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Cool. There's a delay. And then there's a reply.
Ooh.
Interesting. Thank you for the update. Keep in touch. That's all she says.
Okay. She has
What did I-
received the She has received the message. She's thanking us for the update, but no information that she's giving us.
You still sound pissed off.
No.
Okay.
That's good at least then.
That was very quick. Why did I expect it to take a bit of time?
No, it's very much like when I send you a message and you hear in your head like this.
Nice.
Just across continents. I believe I can send it anywhere I want to if I know the person, but I'm not that familiar with this spell. This is why I have a spell scroll. But I have one more, so I'll keep that for when we have
An actual dragon?
yeah, or we know more about the beanbag, or there's something very important that we need to tell her.
Yeah, we should have one in case of emergency.
Yeah.
Just reads dragon!
I mean-
Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
those are two actual words.
It's actually just a 5-letter like a 5-word message. It's just
Yeah.
like dragon! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Yeah. But Sköld, I'm sure in Khir-Doral there's magic shops or something where we can pick up scrolls, maybe.
Yeah.
Just in case. I'll
We
see
might
if
be
I
able to
find.
pay someone in there to send a message on our behalf.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, maybe. But for now, we have one for emergencies. I'll keep that. I just thought it was important to keep her updated what we're doing and that we're, on the case.
Was that
And
the
not dead yet.
was that the original reason why you bought the spell scrolls?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. So okay.
But the other reason is quite obsolete now, isn't it?
Seems like it might be, yeah.
Maybe.
It took Aqua a second to get that. Not because it took me a second to get that, but now I get it.
Sure. That's akin to saying, just repeat that. I know everyone else understood it, but just like I understood, but just for everyone else,
Yeah, no. Yeah, let's keep going. These roads seem relatively safe, don't they? They're
They're well
And-
patrolled.
yeah. So let's keep going.
Okay,
Busy though.
I finally achieved it. It's taken me literally the whole time you were talking, but I worked it out. In theory, you should all see this pop up.
Oh wow.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah.
look.
Map.
I don't know how long it'll last,
Take it in.
but you can see where you're going.
You can pop it
Should I
out.
screenshot it?
See,
Screenshot it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You can pop it out and drag it to another screen if you've got another screen.
so
I'm not that
Sköld's
rich.
just like holding up this map saying, here's Lindhoff, where we are currently. And here's Khir-Doral. You just
Yeah.
take this.
And east of Khir-Doral is the volcano. Does the volcano have a name?
It does.
It does. Shit, it does. Oh
It
no,
goes
where
all
is it? No, it does somewhere.
Okay.
Oh no.
He
I
does
mean, I
have
didn't mean to. I mean, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I totally did. So.
big red boy.
It is
Someone
indeed.
translate that.
It is indeed the big red boy with an eye.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. Well, if only I would organize my stuff better, I would have the name here.
It's fine. You don't need to find it now.
Torod Pojke, which is big red boy in Swedish.
Where's Sweden? Not rent boy Crim, no. Jesus.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's move on. I imagine you told me the name, and you'll find it until.
Yes.
Yeah, we all magically now know the name of this volcano.
Yeah.
That has no name.
So, okay, we're heading east. There's an intersection, and then on the intersection we continue to head east to Khir-Doral. From there, the volcano is east. We shouldn't, as we specified previously, we should not head to the volcano immediately. And I believe the beanbag the little beanbag was held in Khir-Doral and stolen from Khir-Doral, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So hopefully we'll find out more information there. And where are you from again?
I am from. Hold on.
Oh my god.
I don't really remember these things. I've got to note it down. Somewhere.
There's a point of me asking because I want to see something.
It's north of Khir-Doral.
Yeah, I thought it was Baltair.
Okay, Belter, okay. So you're not far from Khir-Doral. Your hometown is not far from Khir-Doral.
No. It's very close to the main forges.
Have you ever been to the volcano?
Not. I haven't been really close to a volcano. The forges tend to be along the outside and dug into the mountain, but out on the outside, no. I haven't been around the wasteland area either.
Okay.
I knew I'd written it down. Legit. So, just for reference, right? Most of my notes end up on receipt paper, okay? Because I get bored at work. So, written right there, which you won't be able to see. But legit, it's written right there. It's called the Flames Dwelling.
Ah.
See? I
Okay.
told you I had written it down.
Now you know.
Now I know. Well, now you know. I already knew.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm trying to type it in.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Is there...
Didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry. So yeah, you've never been to the volcano either. Do you know anyone who's been to the volcano? Apart from, and I point sort of back down the road, the halfling.
It's often a pilgrimage that some clerics do, but they don't tend to get too far. You know, the closer you get, of course, the more treacherous and dangerous it is. And it's more to take in the full might of the volcano and appreciate its power than to go searching for anything in particular.
Okay. Okay. Then, I mean, we have a map of the area. Hopefully that will help. Yeah. Okay. And I suppose we keep going.
All right.
To say there probably isn't many known maps of around the volcano due to its constantly changing geometry.
Mhm.
So having something as up to date as this is going to be very useful.
So I would assume with my limited knowledge of volcanoes breaking out and causing earthquakes, as you said, the landscape will constantly shift, and accessibility probably too, right? So any roads, well, not roads, but paths or climbs that Rukan may have done might not be accessible for us in the future.
Yes.
Okay.
The map that he gave you shows an approach basically from the south of the island. There seems to have been basically from the watchtower from the south all the way around north. There's cracks in the landscape. There's there's like lava flows that are kind of indicated very crudely. That sort of thing. So it's kind of showing you a crude outline of the landscape generally. It seems to be showing you that sticking to the cliff edges, excuse me, seems to be quite a safe route. And then, did I mark where the map is, or where the thing is?
No, we didn't even see much on the map, or couldn't see much on the map because it was invisible, and I heated it up a little bit just to see whether it had, if that was the way to activate it, and you said it made it invisible, but we didn't have a proper look at it yet.
Okay. Please hold. I think I have an updated version. Just keep talking while I find it.
Okay.
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 I don't know what to say now.
I don't know what to say because I'm essentially just thinking about, or now will be thinking about and discussing any information that we have about the volcano. We don't know what's inside. We know it's potentially not a dragon, but we know that a dragon egg is missing. It's a mess, guys. It's a whole mess.
Well, if the legends are anything to go by, the volcano has a lot of, I suppose you could call it magical power around it. So there's no surprise that certain creatures may dwell within its caves, supercharged by such magical energy.
That actually is kind of like my magic, in a sense.
Oh.
From where I was, the village was next to an underwater. Well, my whole realm's underwater, but it was next to a volcano that spewed magical energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of my tribe had all sorts of magical abilities, and they could do all amazing stuff.
Very curious. I don't want to say maybe there's a dragon living in your volcano too, but perhaps some source of power is there.
Hey, maybe. None of us were ever brave enough to fully explore it.
Are there underwater dragons?
Well, what about that thing that attacked us?
That wasn't a
was a
dragon,
kind of-
was it?
Well, it had
It was big.
or underwater nastiness, I guess.
Yeah.
Although you saw it more than I don't know if I even saw it properly.
I only saw it once. It was so quick, even for when I was, a big beanbag. I didn't see it much.
You should be able to find the journal. In like the journal tab, and it should say map. And it's like an updated, clearer version.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
You are technically all owners, so you should be able to add to it and take away from it and stuff if you need to.
Alright, who's gonna draw a dick on it?
Yeah, Wes.
I was actually going to put X's on where we all die.
Yeah.
Okay. These, well, it's a question to the DM, I suppose, but these craters, right? Do they have any meaning? would we know would Sköld know about it?
I mean, most dwarves of Kharissgard know that side of the island is kind of written off completely. It's the way that they've manufactured the volcano is that they've claimed the west, slightly more bountiful, and easier trade access to the rest of the islands. So they've funneled all of the eruption. Like basically, they've managed to contain it so that it's nearly constantly erupting, but that way. The craters are just a representation of the earth drying out, cracking, and sundering.
Okay.
The crater underneath the volcano is what's marked as the entrance to the lair.
Okay.
It's basically Sköld would know that almost as soon as Asoa was vanquished and dealt with, the volcano has almost constantly been erupting for probably about a decade after she was destroyed. Like they were dealing with constant mini eruptions, not necessarily like huge, like world-ending eruptions, but it was almost worse in a way.
Okay.
And it led them to innovate into what they've created now of just, okay, we've got this thing. We've found a way to make it so that it always goes that way. Keep us safe.
Okay.
The magma dam.
The magma
Yeah,
dam, basically.
I was about to say something like that, where it's a funnel that only ever goes one way, an outlet to protect the rest of the island, something, or
Yeah.
the. Okay.
And they used to have magma to power their forges.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Pretty ingenious.
It's the same. It's that kind of process. It's constantly erupting, and then they found a way to aqueduct it essentially through all of the mountains, and there are just forges all the way along.
Okay.
Which is why this island specifically has such high quality dwarven production.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay. The first few hours of your travel pass by not too much of an issue. Busy, like the roads are definitely busy. Neither of you notice, Aqua or Vic, any non-dwarves unaccompanied. You have been keeping an eye even throughout your conversations. Everybody has been so far accompanied by the dwarf. Aqua and Nell, make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Nice.
Sealed.
You notice a couple of times, Aqua, while walking down the road, that there's a few instances where the ground just rumbles slightly underfoot. Just for a second or two. And then just stops and settles down again.
Okay.
Kind of consistent with what occurred in Linhof, where there was a proper kind of like almost mini earthquake. This a little less severe, but still noticeable, at least to you. But journey continues. Is there anything else you particularly want to do during your first day of travel?
Not during the day of travel, no.
All right.
I'm kind of just, admiring the scenery. Bringing, the nostalgia back and
I would
Smell it.
probably like pick some little plants, or pick up any, not trinkets, because there probably wouldn't be any trinkets on the road, but if there's bushes around, I would pick some leaves and the usual Nell stuff. When she traveled somewhere, she would pick up some plants or flowers or whatever she does, what she does.
There's not much in the way of plant life here. It's quite a sparsely a sparse island in general in terms of plant matter. Despite this side of the island not having much in the way of volcanic eruption anymore, it did have an effect while it happened, and a lot of the ground isn't the greatest for growth or growing anything anymore, which is why there are no trees, or very few trees. It's very sparsely populated, but you do find a few sort of withered, but in their own kind of natural way, plants and rubbish.
Okay, I would also look for some sort of nice or smooth rocks that we find.
Oh, plenty of rocks.
We got those in abundance.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but pretty ones, Yeah, I would.
make an investigation check.
I was expecting you to say, yeah, they don't have any rocks either. There's just literally nothing here.
It's just dirt, guys. It's just dirt. All right. Throughout the sort of 8 hours of travel, you do pick up a couple of a few pebbles, and a few bigger stones that fit your criteria of smooth rocks and stones.
Okay.
As you settle down for the end of your day, we come over here to your camp. Ignore the fact there are 5 tents.
Okay, I was about to say whether this was some sort of, or whether there is some sort of maintained campsite, because this is a very traveled road, or whether we just have to find anywhere to camp.
It's there are a few maintained camps. Most of them are taken, but there's specified areas along the roads that are suitable for camping and kind of expected to be camped on, with amenities nearby, such as like water and that kind of thing. There are also kind of little towns along the way, little hamlets and what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Outposts. Or...
that kind of thing. Travelers don't tend to stop at them, but you're able to stop there along the way and get foods and supplies for your camps.
Did I find any cheese on the way? Is there anyone who's selling cheese?
For you, it would be extortionately expensive.
Well, I would send Sköld. And if we see a stall or some sort of place that sells homemade products, I would be like, Sköld, can you go in and check whether there's some cheese? I just want this very specific Kharissgardian cheese that is very delicious. Can you have a look whether they have some?
Okay, I'll have a look. But as shrubbery is quite sparse, so are the wildlife and grazers. So only a few places sell good cheese.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a look. It's unlikely you'll find any along this road, but it's always worth a try.
Do you have to roll a
Roll
investigation?
Roll a charisma check.
Charisma?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I should have gone myself. I should have paid the fee.
There's my charisma there. Ooh.
It's not good.
Ah, look at that. Cheesemeister.
Nice. Rather unbelievably, you do find someone who happens to have just a chunk of cheese left from a wheel that they purchased recently, and they are willing to part with it.
Ooh.
It's going to cost
How
you.
Oh, okay, okay.
They want 3 gold for it.
There we
I'll
go.
give you the 3 gold. I would pay 10 times that.
Don't let me hear you say that.
No, I gave you like 10 gold. You can decide whether you're giving me the rest back.
Okay. So yeah, I'll buy the cheese.
Okay, 3 gold.
There you go. Thank you kindly for your patronage, and I will go back to Nell, and I'll give her back 5 gold.
And half the cheese, yeah?
I'll take my portion of the cheese.
I would share with you guys. It's fine. I'm sharing with you, but I really like this cheese from this island. Maybe because it's so rare, it's why it's so delicious and amazing.
Who knows, man? So you settle down at this campsite. It's clearly been used before. It's not far from the road. The road would be just off the map on the left-hand side. So you're essentially kind of facing south, like the bottom of the map would be east. And as you settle down, travelers still walking by. It's a fairly bustling road. A few stop to chat. Others kind of just want to get on with their day, get on with their travels. They don't really want to interact with random strangers. A few eye you up suspiciously. 3 people and a dwarf is an unusual combination. But as we transition over to night, anything you'd like to do overnight?
A lot I would like to do overnight. I was waiting for you to ask for watches.
Oh God, I'll get the fire ready, shall I? Okay, so as you settle down for your night time routine, is there anything you'd like to do before you all settle down for sleep, or are we just going to go into traveling, or just into sleep?
Aqua is just before he goes to sleep, still kind of shook up about the whole invisibleness, and since he's got his ring back, without telling anyone, he's going to just slightly slide before he goes to bed, puts on magic armor.
All right.
I'm not having anything suspicious done, guys.
Suspicious.
She says
Alright.
Suspiciously.
That's just, and then yeah, I head into my tent, I guess.
Okay.
Oh no, we still have the 1 tent, right?
Yeah, 5-person tent.
Yeah, it's a you have your little offshoot of your tent.
Forgot about that.
You can hang up little, guardians or something. Is that a word? Curtains is what I'm looking for. To have your section of the tent, your privacy.
She says. She watches you while you sleep.
Oh, I definitely do.
While she's eating a little bit of cheese. It's creepy, isn't it?
She's just there like, nom 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 nom.
Fromage.
Okay. Aqua's settled down. Vic, Sköld, who's doing first watch? Obviously not Aqua.
I'm doing first watch. And I am going to decide who's doing second watch because I'm waking that person up.
All right, Nell, you settle down for your watch while everyone else goes to sleep.
I'm taking. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm taking my stuff, my backpack, my weapons. Still wearing armor. I'm taking it outside to have the watch outside.
That tends to be where watches are most useful. Yes.
Yeah. Do we have a fire going?
If you want one, you can.
Yeah, we have a little fire going, and throughout my 2-hour watch, I will randomly let it flare up just to make sure it still keeps burning.
All right. It does. It keeps going. You keep it going for the whole sort of length of your watch. Roll a perception check for me. Aside from the people walking by, there's not much going on. It's quite a nice open area if you ignore the smoke pluming from this from the volcano and the general desolation of the area.
Okay. Yeah, at the end of my watch, after what I deem to be about 2 hours, I'm gonna crawl into the tent and I'm gonna nudge Vic. Vic, can I talk to you?
Walking like a normal person. It's crawling. Okay, hello.
Whatever, I'm still crawling.
I envision you slithering in like a snake or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
I love how that's what you pick up on first. Just like, oh, why are you crawling, you weirdo?
yeah, I'm up here. Like I've got a little cot thing, I don't know, maybe I haven't. Cool. And I'll start getting my armor on just in case I need it for the watch. Probably not, but that's 10 minutes. But
Okay.
I'm nudging, I'm nudging my head. Can we talk outside? I want to talk to you.
I'll be out in 10 minutes.
That actually works. I'll go back out and I'm going to prepare what I want to prepare, which I will.
First of all, did you walk out like a normal person? Or did
Yes,
you
this time I walked. No, you know what? I've crawled out again, just to invite you. And yeah, in that I will reiterate what it is that I prepare in the 10 minutes when you come out.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll get dressed.
Okay.
And I exit the tent.
Sorry. I need prompts to know what I'm
I
doing.
walk out. What do I see? I look out.
Okay, no. The fire is still going. It's nothing super crazy. Nell is sitting a little bit away from the fire, crisscross applesauce, and she has laid out in front of her 4 things. The forgery kit from that you have seen her use, and that you obviously have written a piece of paper for her. Her diary/book that you also see all the time. She collects things in there. Sometimes she writes in there. Sometimes she draws in there. Her Hellfire whip is next to it, as well as a piece of rope.
Okay. What's this about?
Okay, look, I know you don't trust me, and I know you're suspicious of me. I sort of want to explain to you what's going on. And she's keeping her voice down because she doesn't want Aqua and Sköld to hear, but she also doesn't want anyone who's walking by to hear.
Okay, go
on. I need you. This is going to sound suspicious, but please just bear with me and humor me. And she's putting her hands behind her back. I need you to tie up my hands.
I feel like we need to have someone else to be here for this.
It's fine. I promise. I just want you to trust me and know that I can't cast any spells. All of my spells except for one are semantic spells. So.
Can you just put your hands in your pockets?
No, I want you to make sure. This is a precaution for me as well as for you.
This looks weird though. Let's say, for example, I do this. Someone comes out. I'm like, why is she tied up?
Don't worry about it. Just do it. Are you worried about you? This is what you said in the pub, didn't you? You didn't want to talk to me when there's people around. Well, there's no people around now. I can't set anyone on fire if my hands are tied. Just tie up my hands. It's fine.
And you can't do it can't like set fire, like if your hands are tied up behind you, you can't set fire that way, no?
No, because I can't. All my fire spells are semantic.
You said all but one. What spell isn't?
The command.
So you could command me to untie you.
I could, but I hope I won't. That's only if, I don't mean to command you anything.
Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? Go on then. I don't know. Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay.
I tie up behind the back.
Okay. Yeah, she's still sitting there, arms tied up behind her back, crisscross applesauce a little bit away from her stuff, and she nods towards the three things. I just put my whip out there just so I couldn't use it. There's some fire attached to it as well. Maybe don't touch it. I don't know if it will do anything to you. I just put it out there as a precaution. I just want you to trust me, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Please have a look at the forgery kit or the diary, whichever you want to do first.
I mean, I'll look at the forgery kit, but I don't know. That's just the note, isn't it, that I wrote?
Not just the note, there's other stuff in there because I was practicing for a couple of hours with it.
Okay, I'll have a look at that.
So you're opening it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Meglo, feel free to interject anytime you have anything else to add, but otherwise I'm just going to go through it. You know what I'm going to do. As you open it, there's a stack of papers in there. And you've seen me use it, obviously, in the pub. Was it the previous day or 2 days prior? And on top of this stack of pages, you see the note that you have written that says, "I shall not read people's minds unprompted," or whatever you said. "I shall not set people on fire. I shall not harm people," and stuff like that. All that sort of thing that she.
Well, I don't say not harm people. Sometimes
I
people
don't.
get harmed, but yeah.
Yeah, but all those things that you would have said
Yeah.
on that piece of paper. I don't specifically remember what you said. Look through it, please.
Okay. I will flick through it.
The first couple of pages behind the piece of paper that you have written, that you specifically notice your handwriting to be, you see Nell's more or less poor attempt of copying your handwriting and copying the exact sentences that you have written. Some of them a little, like towards the end of this little stack, a little better, but most of it, it's a poor attempt. But then, as you continue to flick through it, you notice a few pieces of paper after, or a few pages even after the first few, you notice that the handwriting changes, and it doesn't look like your own. It doesn't look like Nell's. It doesn't look like Nell's poor attempt in mimicking your handwriting. And when you take a closer look, you see that in all the sentences, there's one word missing, and it's the not. And the sentences all say stuff like, "I will set fire. I will read people's minds. I will blah, blah, blah. I will hurt people." Whatever things you have written, all the sentences are missing the not. And you cannot determine the handwriting. It doesn't look like Nell's because you have seen Nell's handwriting. It doesn't look like your own. It doesn't look like her copying something. As you continue to flick through it, you find one singular page towards the end in very scraggly handwriting, but you do determine it to be sort of Nell's, that says over and over and over again, "Help me."
And what is this supposed to show me, that you got two personalities or something?
It's not two, I don't know. It's not two personalities. I don't remember writing this. I looked through it yesterday and I thought, what? And I didn't want to show you, but there's something, someone, something.
And you had no unconscious moments other than sleep?
I maybe I did. I don't remember. I don't remember using the forgery kit for that long.
Okay. I don't know, you've been messing around with some evil forces there, haven't you? Like the one that helped bring the hag into our that town. It's something to do with that?
Probably. I I don't know for sure. I don't really remember. It's all very, very jumbled up. There's flashes of things. I know there's something that threatened to take you, that killed my parents. I don't know.
Hmm. I'm guessing Nell, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Now,
Figured, but-
Vic,
Mhm.
as you're having this conversation with Nell, her reflection, or her sort of illumination in the firelight, keeps kind of flickering slightly. And every now and then, everything kind of looks like this to you,
Oh wow.
where there's almost no like detail. Everything is just washed out with color. Other times, other times, there's an almost devoid of color. Something you begin to notice the longer you have the conversation is that the left side of Nell's face, the left side of Nell's body, isn't synced up with the right side. As she's telling you about what she was experiencing, or what she's sort of scared about, almost, you notice that the right side, especially the right side of her face, is talking normally, usual facial expressions, her eyes emoting like you would expect an L to do. The left-hand side is just deadpan, still. Void of her left eye, her missing left eye, just staring daggers into you.
It's like your two people, isn't it? Left and right.
Roll an intelligence check, Vic.
Smartest boy around.
Nice.
Damn.
With a 20. While you don't know what's going on with her, you know there's something related to fire. You know, you've seen possibly what happened to her in the past, and you have a basic understanding of sort of where her power comes from. If nothing else, just from potentially meeting like magic users in the past, and understanding that every magic user gets their power from somewhere. Nell is a mystery to you, which doesn't make sense. This like separation that happened when you were engulfed in the flames back in Linhof, where the burned half kind of separated itself and became a whole and was linked, like sort of touching fingers with normal now. It's not normal. And there's something up, obviously. And there definitely seems to be a disconnect between left and right. Experiencing that now, especially.
Okay. Did you see what happened in Lindhof when you got hit by the fire. Did you see that in front of you?
What? See what?
When you kind of became two? When Aqua saw it too.
Did I see myself become two? I know I can do it, and I've seen it before, but did I see it in that particular moment?
You did not.
No, I don't think so. I have seen it before, but not in Lindhof.
I don't know if it's because you got hit by fire, or I don't know why we could see it. If that's because we got hit by fire too, but.
Vic, what year is it?
What year is it, by any chance?
7946.
7946. Why?
413 years.
Or about 413 years. What?
I was born 413 years ago.
And you're human.
Mostly?
So how would that be possible then? Do you like wish for like long life or something, and then get cursed at the same time?
No, it wasn't. I'm not entirely sure. I did tell you about the thing, person, creature, God, whatever he is, I don't know, who is trying to get you.
I don't know if they're trying to get us. Are they trying to get us, Johnny?
Well, that's what she told you.
Why would they want to get us?
Because you're my friends and I care about you. Whatever did with my parents.
Oh, I saw.
What? What do you mean you saw?
Me and Aqua. Well, I think the thing reached out and touched us. Or something, I can't remember. And then it pulled us into like a memory or something. A memory of you cackling. Of like what we assume to be your parents saying that they need to move into the woods or something to get you away from people. And then burning house, I think. And then you cackling. And then I think them getting pulled away by something.
You see her visibly getting upset in the shadow of the fire, like where the left side, the right side of her face anyway, is like visibly upset and tears are rolling down her cheek. I didn't know that you saw that. I barely have a memory of that. I only have a memory of the fire and then my parents being dragged away, and everything after is so jumbled. And he does this thing whenever I remember, he stops me remembering.
How'd you make a pact with this thing then? Like, you must have some kind of like deal going on.
Pact?
Or like a deal, or whatever the word is.
I don't think so.
Well, these things can't just come out of nowhere and decide to take over someone's life or body or something.
I maybe I did, but I have no memory of doing so.
So, if you're 413 years old, did you burn your house down like 400 years ago, or was it recently?
No, 400 years ago. I don't know what happened in the meantime. All I remember,
So, what have you been
I
doing?
remember being on the boat with you, and then crashing and Aqua rescuing us.
Well, and nothing before that properly.
My memory of that before that was being with my parents and being on our farm and raising chickens and cows and horses and having a happy life in the village down south of the Southern Island. And now after Oakberg, after what happened in Oakberg, after what I've done to you, and after I've seen the thing grabbing you, I have these flashes of things that happen, and the knowledge that I am something else and there's something else going on. And for the past whatever time, there's someone who wants me to do things, something who wants me to do things. I don't know. And whenever I try to fight him, whenever I try to run away, he knows. And he stops me. And I don't have specific memories of things that happened. I have faces, I have names without faces, and I have faces without names. I see a fence burning. I see a child giving me bread. I see taking shelter outside a village in an abandoned house because it was raining and thunderstorming and I was getting wet. But I don't have any connections between any of these memories.
Like 400 years, or whatever you've probably done, whatever this thing has wanted. Maybe. Okay, and I'll pick up your diary, and I want to see how the first thing you wrote in and how long ago it was.
All right. Make an investigation check for me. Okay. 17. Is there anything specific, Yathina, that you see him see? Want him seeing?
Well, if you have anything else, the specifics are the drawings that she has made. Apart from obviously like collecting trinkets from the places that they've been to, but there's specific drawings I want him to see.
All right. Describe those drawings for me.
When you're flicking through the book, you see one of the first drawings is of Aqua being on fire. Then you see a drawing of the four of you, just a normal one. Then you see a drawing of, and all of these drawings are very childlike drawings, like she doesn't have any talent, but you can still discern what they're supposed to mean. Then you see a drawing of Nell without the left side of her face, like Nell completely intact, smiling. Then you see a couple of pages further down, there's writing in between as well. You see Nell on fire and still smiling and laughing. And then you see a drawing of the three of you without Nell, enveloped in some black shadow or a shadowy hand grasping you. And then you see one of the last drawings, the most recent one, is of a shadowy figure, but you can't make out what it is, like going over the entire page of a figure enveloped in flames and shadow and just two eyes staring back at you.
Maybe we need to find someone that you can show these to, like professional style.
I don't need therapy, okay?
As you're looking through these pictures, Vic, sorry. There's page after page of these drawings, childlike drawings. And then you kind of flick back to the front of the book. And what started as just Nell writing about being rescued from the ship by this new blue friend of hers changes from that into a much, much, much different piece of prose. Instead of the scraggly handwriting that Nell possesses, it's much neater, much more well written, cleaner handwriting, like flows beautifully. Writing of her findings. The first sentence starts with the words, "I'm finally free." And there's mentions of him, which turn into mentions of Ertu. Discovered his name.
Who's a name?
ERRTU.
Mm-hmm. And
That
so that makes the point of being the name of the thing. The thing.
yes, it starts off with like literally starts off with like big capitals, "I'm finally free."
Yeah.
And then I have found a way to remove his grasp from me. He no longer has any control. And then goes into Ertu. And you turn the page. And this time there's the handwriting has devolved slightly from that beautiful scripture almost into a slightly less well written, almost like it's gone down a grade in writing ability, maybe. And it's, again, "I'm finally free." But this time it's always mention of him and he. You turn the page. This time it's the handwriting's even worse. There's almost no like joining of the words. It's always written very childlike. "I'm finally free." And this time there's no he, there's no him. It's it. It has no longer got control. I don't do its bidding anymore. You turn the page. This time it's not really handwriting, it's more of a scribble. "I'll never be free."
Are there dates on each of these pages as well?
There is no date, but there is an obvious difference in age of the paper parchment it's written on.
Okay.
The first page that you read was old, very brittle, almost afraid to turn it in case it tears or crumbles. The next page, slightly less so. Definitely newer, but still has some age to it. The third page, less used, still old, but you know, could conceivably still be in circulation now as like paper for sale. The most recent one, fourth page, barely a year old, by your reckoning.
I'd probably turn around and shout and say, "Can you explain why you've gone from at one point being able to write, quite well, to devolving into scribbles?" I'm guessing it's you.
What do you mean?
Do you not see the writing here? And I'll just flick between.
Do I see the writing?
Make just an intelligence roll. No, wisdom roll. You just see everything you've put in since you started your adventures.
That's just me talking. She tries to crane her neck a little bit to see what it says, and for her it just says, "We made our way to Orva today and met a weird person in a pub. There's something weird going on in Orva, blah blah blah." Like for her it just says she's recounting the adventures that you had.
It's almost like your mind's blinded to reality.
I don't know what you mean.
Definitely need to find someone. Maybe they can look into why. Maybe somebody knows stuff about pacts and stuff, or demon. Is it a demon of some sort? You said. I don't even remember. It was a thing. You even wrote its name here. Look, and I'll point at it.
Make another wisdom check. Oh.
Yeah.
As Vic points to the page with the name Air 2 written on it, it's like, of course that's who it is. Obviously. Like, everything comes flooding back about who he is, what it is. And then as you look up from the page,
as I look down on the page, I nod. Oh yeah, he's a, and I look up at Vic and I'm like, what are you looking at?
Pretty messed up, aren't we? Maybe you can speak to you. I mean, if this thing, wherever it is, was helpful enough to summon, although it was still a bit of a weird move to summon it directly into like a town, to summon like a being somewhere, must be able to converse with it sometime. How did you talk to it into bringing the hag?
Just, how do you spell remember? Holy shit. Remember. Jesus, sorry, I wrote it 3 times the wrong way. I just talked to him. I tried to talk to him in my head. I don't know.
Have you ever asked him what he wants?
I didn't, and up until now, I didn't know there was something.
Well, you probably did, though. That's the worst part. I think in 400 years you haven't asked the same questions thousands of times.
Whenever I try to grasp him, he makes me forget, and he resets everything, and all the memories are gone. And that has happened. I don't know how often this has happened.
Oh, you wouldn't in that case, I guess.
Exactly. And as I said, everything is just jumbled up. I have faces of people that I don't know if I met them 400 years ago or if I met them 2 years ago. There's names and screams that I hear that I don't know if they happened last month or 200 years ago. Everything. I remember coming to Kharissgard and eating this cheese, but I don't know if that was 2 months ago or if it was 100 years ago. Maybe they don't make this cheese anymore. I remember being to an island and just drinking ale with friends. I know these people were my friends, but I don't know who these people are.
It's kind of outside my scope of understanding.
I didn't expect you to have a solution. I just want you to understand that I'm not trying to hurt you, and that a lot of things that are going on, I don't have that much control over, which I know sounds scary and which I know sounds dangerous, and you probably should ditch me, but I care about you, and I know that whenever he wants to, he can take you. And I won't let that happen because I care about you.
That's
And
obviously powerful enough to do plenty, I guess, but there must be something else he wants.
why are we here? What are we looking for?
What do you mean? What, you think he wants that?
Maybe that's the reason why you're not dead yet. Maybe that's the reason why he hasn't taken you yet, because he knows he knows you're useful to me. You're useful in this endeavor, in this adventure that we're on.
Not really painting a great picture for you to carry on coming along with us, though, by saying that, are you?
I know, but I can't. And she nods towards the forgery kit again and the stack of papers. I need help, Vic. I can't do this by myself. And I know you have every reason to ditch me if you want to, and I understand if you do. But I care about you. I care about Sköld. I care about Aqua, and he's going to try to take you regardless whether I'm with you or not. And if
You can't even remember his name, let alone knowing is what he wants. What's his name?
And she tries to say it, and she's looking up, and it starts with a T, I think. I don't know, something. It's at the tip of my tongue. I don't know.
So, how do we know? How do you know really what he wants? Saying that he wants to maybe take us. It's probably just a threat because I don't know. He wants to get you to do something for him, but he's got hold over you. He hasn't got hold over us.
Yeah. You said you've seen what he did to my parents.
Didn't see.
You saw him take them.
Saw something take them.
He has done this. Not that I remember specifics, but he's done this hundreds of times. Whenever I got close to someone, friends, family, caretakers, lovers, anything, he has taken them from me. Again, I don't remember them. I just remember the feeling that I had when this happened, and I don't want this to happen to you.
Seems a bit risky to make new friends, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, if you would have told me that 3 months ago when we met, maybe I wouldn't have made friends with you. But back then I didn't remember. And now I know I'm responsible for this. But
But wouldn't you? I mean, I'm not saying this is like a decision or anything, but wouldn't you just want to not make new friends then, or when you realise just leave them rather than carrying on with them? Isn't that the most safe bit though? And you said he'll come after him anyway, but how do you really know?
how do I really know? I don't. And if you say you want me to leave, I will.
Kind of difficult now. We've been paid to do a mission. We've all been paid.
Money doesn't matter.
People hunting you down for money definitely matters when you powerful people that we've aligned ourselves with.
Vic, I'm trying. I'm trying not to hurt you and get you hurt. But I'm telling you all of this. I will tell Aqua and Sköld. It's not, I don't want to keep it secret from them. But I just thought you were so pissed at me yesterday. And I just wanted to clear the air by putting everything out there so you know I'm not keeping any secrets from you anymore.
Okay. Do I believe there's no more secrets?
I don't know, do you?
I don't know.
You can roll insight if you want, but I mean, do you believe that?
I I think so, but I sort of know if she'd keep anything secret. To be fair.
Well, is there anything else that you want to know?
Not really that I can think of right now, but that doesn't mean there's something I haven't thought of to know about.
I'm an open book. Ask me whenever you want to. I promise you, I will not lie to you.
This whole conversation, Vic, it's been in and out. It's been fluctuating, but whenever Nell has been talking about how much she cares for the three of you, everything moves. Like, her body moves normally. But whenever she's talking about not really knowing about herself or magic, or not really knowing whether she should be trusted and that sort of thing, only the right hand side of her body really moves.
Good side.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, well, maybe you should tell the others as well. Like you said.
I will.
But I'm not one to vote to remove you from the group or anything. You have been the cause of plenty of issues, though. Even ones that I don't even believe whatever this dark thing is around you is the culprit for. Sometimes it's your own decision making, it seems. Just, I don't know. Just see what happens.
Okay. And you can see she's like gone very meek and gone very quiet and tiny and vulnerable.
Okay. Okay. I'll say you better get some rest, that I'll untie and then do my watch, I guess. Put your stuff away a little.
As he unties me, I just rub my wrists and start to pack up my things again. The forgery kit and my diary and my Hellfire whip.
As he tries to untie you, the rope that was used to tie you up has burned away. At some point during that conversation, either consciously or unconsciously, you burned away the rope.
Figured that could happen.
As I realize that, and you come to untie me, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And I start to pack my stuff and walk into the tent and try and get some sleep.
I'll add it to the apology checklist.
All right. Make a perception check for your watch, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
The road's quietened down quite significantly while you were asleep, and also while you were having the conversation with Nell. There's still, a number of people passing by, but not in anywhere near the same numbers as before. But nothing out of the ordinary catches your attention. It's just a normal watch. And it gets to the end of your watch. You get to choose who to wake up.
Dude, don't I?
You do.
How would I wake him up?
Well, that's the $64,000 question.
You crawl into the tent.
Exactly.
I'm a snake. No. I'll just go inside and maybe splash a little bit of water in Aqua's face. Just like home.
Okay. I mean, considering he's almost always a little bit moist anyway. It's just more moisture to the face, really. But you do get woken up by water being flicked in your face, Aqua, and Vic's kind of standing over you, all imposing in his armor, looking a bit conflicted.
Just had to fight a couple of dragons, but your turn. Might start taking my armor off.
Not a scratch on him, but it seems believable.
Do you want me to roll deception?
Yeah, do it. Roll a deception check.
So good.
I wasn't going to question it, but I probably will now.
Hmm.
A bit of a wry smile as well, just in case you did believe me,
Yeah.
Well,
There's the telltale signs there if you wish to see them.
nah, I'm not bothered. I'm still confused by the water. The extra water on my face.
Exactly.
This ain't mine.
I know my water.
I know my water. I didn't produce this.
I know my taste.
All right. Aqua, we come over to your watch. Roll a perception check for me. Oh my god, guys. Again, at this point, it's approaching like the earliest of mornings. The sun is starting to peek over the horizon, and illuminate the smoke in the air from the volcano. And it's a nice morning, clear. No real clouds apart from obviously again the smoke. But nothing to shout home about. Quite pleasant, if a bit dry.
No moisture in the air here.
No. Make another perception check for me. You notice around the fireplace, the campfire, there's scorched. It's scorched around the fire.
Okay.
That's all. Enjoy knowing that.
Suppose if that's it, I'll go wake up Sköld.
All right. How do you wake up Sköld?
I'm assuming he's not that high up, so I kneel down and shake him.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think many people are quite high up when they're sleeping. Just
I don't know if you're on
you
the
don't have
floor
to
or
be.
on a camp bed.
You don't have to be discriminatory about my
I
height.
want to get to your height and just shake you.
Oof.
Could hang like a bat and sleep. We don't know.
That's canon. That's how it goes. That's how dwarfs sleep now.
Yes.
Yeah. Sköld, you get vigorously woken up by a shake from Aqua. It's your turn to watch. The sun's rising. Often the best watch to have.
Yes. Less likely to get ambushed.
Exactly. You step out into the open air of the of this surrounding area, and more people are starting to travel. Like the early morning farmers getting their stuff to the city, and long days of traders that just want to get an early start. Everyone seems genial and pleasant to a fellow dwarf. Make a perception check for me.
Oh, I've lost my thing again.
Oh no.
Second. I've lost my perception. Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Luckily, there wasn't any ambushes occurring this night. Wink, wink.
Yeah, quite a few hours. Easy peasy.
Good.
There you go. And comes over to morning. Transition to daylight. And it's time for everyone to wake up.
Oh,
You get your
Yeah.
long rest. It's good.
10 minutes.
You need 10 minutes to put your armor on.
I'm guessing Skull probably has his on from his watch, possibly. So
Yes, he does.
I just always wear it.
Oh,
You
don't
sleep
say
in
that.
your armor.
don't say that.
Are you saying you sleep in your armor?
No, I didn't.
Nope.
Purely a jest.
My armor looks like pajamas when I'm sleeping. So
Now,
yes.
you have not woken up yet.
Okay, cool.
You are still asleep.
I wonder if we can take the tent down around her.
Isn't it a pocket dimension? I don't think that's particularly healthy.
I don't think it's not quite a pocket dimension, is it? Is it? How's it? It's big on the inside.
Well, defies the
I've seen
laws
that
of
movie.
space.
Yeah, and it is magical, I guess. There's something going on with it.
So you're saying this could be a tent of holding? We should shove it in this.
I don't think things stay. I mean, things will still probably bulge inside here, would they? Have we tried that?
If you don't empty it, it doesn't like collapse properly.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
That's what you found out so far.
Okay.
Trying to collapse it on Nell. Just won't fit.
It's like a mummy. Okay. I've got an idea what we should do. Anyone here good at cooking?
I believe
Yeah.
Sköld is the company cook, right?
What skills do I need to cook?
Survival.
Background.
Then that I am, yes.
How about, because we've got another 2 days to walk, and I can't be bothered to keep eating rations. How about we try to procure food from like farmers on the way, and then we can have a cook-off or some big cookout.
How about we cook now? That's where I thought that was going, honestly.
Oh no!
Too
I'm sure we
spicy.
can pick up some meat and.
Joke's on you. Nell can cook herself.
Yes. We
Yes.
don't need to help that.
Well, as the four of you prepare for your day's travels with Nell still asleep.
The three of them.
Yep, I realised what I said as I said it. We'll take a quick 5-minute break for anybody who needs to pop off and get a drink or anything. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
Goodbye. I'm still
Time.
here.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
Well, I thought I broke something, but I don't think I have.
Oh, well,
Alright.
that's good then.
I just averted. I will admit there's a slight dread whenever I hear my work phone go off.
Oh no. Are they calling you at this time of the night still?
No. Luckily, it's only Apple News saying that Gavin Williamson resigns amid bullying claims.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just that.
No, nothing major then. Whew, my goodness. It sometimes does happen. I get people from Montreal messaging me.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Let's have a look. While we're on a break, I might as well do some coding. I really like water. It's a miracle thing, really, because when I was a kid growing up, I hated water.
Yeah, I can feel that. I'm a big sparkling water fan.
Oh,
I'm literally
Yeah, I
drinking big
can't.
bottles of it right now at the moment.
I can't do sparkling water unless it's flavored, I'm afraid.
yeah, same.
No, I at the moment I'm drinking Pepsi Max, but normally I only drink sparkling water.
Going for some apple tango for the first time in ages.
Ooh, apple tango.
This is going to be such a weird fucking flex, but I have such a weird memory with Apple Tango. It's actually a quite traumatic memory because this is going to be a weird flex, and I'm sorry.
Alright, Nell, come on then.
I'm gonna tell it anyway because I used to work in the House of Commons.
Oh,
And I was there during the terror attack in 2017, when
wow.
a police officer died. Yeah, and this is no joke. I was one of 5 civilians who was locked up with all the MPs in the chamber, because at that point there was quite an important Brexit vote going on, and I wanted to see it. So I was sitting in the area where all the people sit who work in the House of Commons, and it was only 5 people at that point. So when the lockdown happened. Can get off my keyboard, please. When the lockdown happened, I was sitting with all the MPs, and they locked us in with the MPs. So with 400 or so MPs, I was there. And after like 2.5 hours, they brought out snacks because they raided all the fridges and offices of the MPs who were near, of the offices of the MPs who were near, and they brought out Apple Tango, and all the MPs, like a lot of the MPs, like raided this cart, didn't offer anything to anyone else, like they took as much as they could, and the only thing that was still left was Apple Tango, and I had it, and I didn't like it, and that was a very traumatic memory.
it was the fact that you didn't like it that was traumatic. It wasn't.
Yeah, that too. No, not that I was in a terror attack. That's fine.
No.
You guys talk about such weird things while I'm gone. It's like I leave you alone for 5 minutes to go and get a
I'm
piece.
drinking apple tango, and all of a sudden your thing is saying about terrorists and stuff.
Jesus, I go to get a piece of
Escalation.
paper, right, that I've written some notes on, and now you're talking about terrorists and Apple Tango and bloody hell. Can't leave you alone for a minute, can I?
Apple tango's good though.
Is it like apple juice with sparkling water? Is it just that?
It's like orange tango, but apple flavor.
I don't think I ever had an orange tango.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's not juice flavored.
It just tasted really, really artificial to me. That's what I remember of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they are.
cold,
I mean, yeah, obviously. Anyway, it takes a long time for Nell to stir. We're talking like an extra 1.5 to 2 hours of waiting before she just starts to stir naturally. If you want to try and wake her in beforehand, say now.
I'd rather just wait outside and see if I see any like farmers passing with decent food types. And see
All
if
right.
I can get some good snacks.
I would
well,
expect Vic to want to get his tent down.
no rush to getting the tent down. Just be very carefully folded. Not having Nell get in the way.
Make a charisma check for me.
Oh, okay. I might have to get Sköld stand. If Sköld stands next to me, do I get any kind of benefits?
Passive charisma.
Oh,
What do you do?
There's a couple of farmers that pass, and some of them are loaded with bits and pieces that you inquire about. They seem skeptical. They see Scott. They see like you and Aqua with Sköld kind of milling around, and then they start seeming a bit less suspicious of you. But they cordially explain, you know, that this is to go to the cities. This one specifically is going to Linhof. They would be. They need their produce.
I mean, we only want a little bit, and plus we just saved the priest of Lindhof, did we not, Sköld?
That is true. We
And-
did do Lindhof a good service.
Yeah. Caught someone who set fire to the church, stabbed the priest. And
Wait,
we're not
Reword that. We didn't save the town and then stab the priest.
I don't know how the words came out then. I didn't reckon. Right, we got the person who stabbed the priest and set fire to the church. We caught them.
Okay.
But we
Gold.
want to pay for it, you know?
Roll a religion check.
Ho ho.
Great.
What's religion? What are you talking about? I don't know
Oh, it's
anything.
de-leveled now as a cleric.
Oh, Jesus. You've had one good roll all session, I swear. The farmer looks at the two of you. Well, I would of course expect some payment, but I ain't heard no thing about a fire or a stabbing.
Well, I mean, it only happened, yesterday? Day before yesterday? I mean, you probably haven't been there. And I'll just turn to Sköld and be like,
Can I show him my commendation?
oh, yeah, and money. I'll give you the money back.
You can roll religion again if you show commendation.
Nice.
It can be with advantage.
What, this time with advantage or
No, it's in like this,
acting out?
it would have
Okay.
been advantage.
Okay, fair enough.
There we go.
There we go.
As you pull out your commendation, talking about how you saved the church and the priest, the farmer gives a nodding approval. Well, I can't read no, but this awfully looks official. Yeah, okay. What do you want?
To Vic, what do we want?
Oh,
There's a
yes.
variety of vegetables. A few like root crops like potatoes. A few cuts of meat that look sufficient.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe are there any good dwarven stews that you know, or anything specific you can do, like whatever you want to cook?
They tend to be very meat-based, shall we say,
Okay.
and often cooked in some form of alcohol.
Well, maybe we won't do that, but yeah, just some meat and some vegetables, and vegetables are good for you, obviously. And then I think Nell's been avoiding eating the vegetables because she's still sleeping in, not got enough energy.
Yes, I think she's been quite tired recently, so maybe yes, we need to have a variety of different fruits and vegetables and all sorts of things, just to make sure that we cater to everybody's unique needs. I don't know what Aqua needs. Water.
You have a vague recollection of Aqua being vegan.
That's not true.
He's also he also can't eat lactose, and
Gluten?
gluten.
Okay.
Gluten free, lactose free, vegan.
Well,
Water it is then.
If you put the effort in to make a good meal for everyone and someone doesn't eat it, that's disrespectful and they've got their own rations, you know?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, I've been eating bread for the last couple of days. I should be dead.
Nutritional value. All right.
But this is like limbo.
So let's go to the farmer and just say we'll have a bit of everything.
Or some spices, some seasoning spices, that kind of stuff. If you've got anything.
No spices.
We'll find someone for spices on the way. That's fine.
I swear that's just code for drugs.
There is spice. Just, yeah, not that kind of spice. We're not about that.
Juice spice.
That's it, sniffing my nose as I walk past.
he sort of tallies it up. Well, this would probably get me about 7 silver in the sea. And he hands like a sort of knapsack of a good fair few vegetables and a few meat slices. Looks like pork that, is held in a sort of wrapped and held in a rudimentary box.
Thank you. And I give him 1 gold. Time he can keep the change.
He takes it and, gives you the Vulcan salute.
I return it.
I have no idea what the Vulcan salute is, but that's what he does. And he kind of bids you good day and moves on.
Can I make a point of just saying that our name is the Navigators? I think we should get our name out a bit more. We don't ever say, "Oh, hello, we're the Navigators" to random people we meet. So when we do big missions and stuff, people know who we are. But
I'm not in the habit of even giving my own name out, let alone.
yeah, I
Right.
didn't give my name out to him either. To be fair, actually,
No one has to know who's in the Navigators, guys. Come on.
that's true.
It's just like an elusive group. Anybody could be part of it.
Oh god, it's bloody what is it now? Oh, it's escaped me.
The Avengers.
No. Warhammer.
F-Guard? No.
Alfarius, there we go. Everybody's
Oh, yeah.
Alfarius.
I'm Alfarius. Oh,
Tip of my tongue. All right. So yeah, about an hour and 45 minutes after everyone else wakes up, and probably about an hour after your conversation with the farmer, Nell sort of stirs, and you hear movement inside, and she sort of, after getting herself sorted and ready, steps out.
down the tent.
Something, Vic, make a perception check for me.
She hasn't shat in my tent, has she? No.
I'm concerned that's where your brain went.
she could have done that. That's why she's done that.
As she steps out, ready for the day's travel, it seems like her scars have spread slightly. What used to be just sort of like down half her neck, now her whole neck now seems to just be riddled with the scar tissue of the burns.
I'll point it out. Like that's got worse. You might need to look in some water or something. Reflective surface. Sköld shield. Mine's not
I
right.
hand it over.
If it's reflective and you can see, I don't know. I don't know how shiny yours looks shinier than mine would be, I think.
Polish it on a regular basis.
What about your shield? Sorry.
Didn't talk about my helmet.
Oh, lowering the tone. Let's raise it. Anyway.
Yeah. I noticed that Yathina's being awfully quiet about this, but it's very much a case of like an exhausted Nell steps out of the tent, and
Can you hear me now?
there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Good job,
Literally-
Yathina.
So much. Okay, so what I said was that I'm looking into the shield, and what do I see?
You see yourself, your usual burnt complexion, but your neck, it's worse.
Okay. That is so weird. That has never happened before. I think. I don't know. I give the shield back. It's
Make a wisdom check for me. Aqua. While you
Yeah.
see Nell, you can see Nell looking in the shield. You notice the scarring now that's been pointed out to you. As she's looking in the shield, kind of like observing her new neck features. Seems like the burnt side of her face seems to be smiling. The eye socket of with the missing eye, the black void, seems to be curled almost in a smile, the same way, or like how an eye would, react to a smile. It's not smiling independently. Don't worry.
Aqua doesn't care.
Sorry, I'm writing it down.
It's a disconcerting sight where, you can see that while she seems to just be admiring herself in the mirror, instead of being concerned at her situation seemingly getting worse.
Do I notice her other side of her face?
Which side would you be stood on?
I'd say I'm this side, so I'd be looking at her right side and seeing her reflection when she's, I guess.
Well, while you're looking at the reflection,
Yeah.
make a quick perception check for me. It's a perception-filled episode. That tracks with everyone else's so far.
That's my highest one yet.
Don't be proud of it.
Her reflection looks different. It's the smile that you notice most. Her unburnt side of her face looks normal, or as normal as it can be for now. But there's something about the reflection as well. It just seems off.
Okay, Aqua's just gonna put it down to the whole with now splitting with the fight, and that it's just in his mind at the moment.
Okay.
And he's still, I don't know, mental trauma from it, I guess.
Okay. Sounds good.
You bought some food, guys. I can contribute my cheese.
The cheese is gone.
No, it's not. We would have saved it.
Nope. It's all gone.
Yes. No.
You devoured the whole wheel of cheese.
She literally reaches into her cloak. Look, I have cheese. It's just her hand.
No. She would have saved it to share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Well,
It's
one
gone.
half you might have done.
It's gone.
The other half has had fondue or something.
Player agency. She would have saved it to share.
Yeah, I'm not saying she wouldn't have, but it's gone.
No.
It's all right. Cheese in a stew, probably not.
Oh, have you never heard of cheesy onion soup? That's quite delicious.
It's not as stew as such, but
Anyway, I try and help out with the cooking.
we're not cooking now. We're getting stuff ready for.
Fine.
I also feel like she literally gets down by the campfire and starts like preparing the cooking utensils, completely unaware that everyone else has literally been up for an hour and a half and is ready to go.
Yeah, we need to get some more stuff on the way potentially.
Okay.
See if we can find some spices or something.
How long have you guys been up?
Hour and a half, maybe.
Oh. Okay, I must have been exhausted. I didn't feel as tired.
Not enough vegetables.
Aye.
Yeah, they're making us eat veg now. I'm not happy about it either.
I like vegetables. I used to grow vegetables at home in my own garden.
See.
It's gonna like make a comment, but I was like, the other two don't know how long ago it might have been yet, so I won't say anything.
As you set down your tent and head off on your journey, we'll be back over here. The road again, nice and smooth. The watchtowers, outposts pass by every hour or so. No drama, nothing out of the ordinary. Aqua and Nell, make a perception check again for me.
Right, Nell would have specifically look out for anyone following them. She will be a little bit more paranoid now that she has told Vic, because she doesn't know how much it affects her or the people around her when other people know about what is happening to her. And she doesn't know whether her patron, Ertu, we know the name now, she doesn't, has picked up anything of the conversation or, whatever happened. So she would be a little bit more paranoid, looking out for any shadows or any stuff following them.
Okay. Both Aqua and Nell, the tremors that Aqua felt the day before are far more frequent today.
Mm-hmm.
Seemingly, the further inland you go, the worse they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Nell.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure whether it's your paranoia or like actually something to be worried about. But every time you kind of look around at your friends, there always seems to be just something just beyond the perception of them, or like hidden behind them that you can't quite make out. And then it's gone in a flash.
Okay.
But pretty much every time, just you look over, and then there's like a shadow flashes behind them, or there seems to, for a moment, to be two of them that kind of are distorted apart, and then they mold back together.
Okay.
It's not natural, but there is that element of, is this just me being paranoid again?
While we're walking, I keep this to myself silently, but in Vic's head, he hears. I'm not sure what it is, but there seems to be something around the three of you, and I'm not sure if I'm just being paranoid or if there's something actually going on.
Doesn't seem to be anything for you, Vit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything. It's probably in your head. Don't forget, if there's two like things, two parts of you, and one part's trying to, I don't know, take over, it can make you probably see whatever it wants you to see.
Maybe. After the conversation yesterday, I want to, after a couple of hours on the road already, not straight away, but after a while, I sort of reminisce about the conversation and take out my diary or take out the book that I carry around with me. And I want to check whether I can see the entries that Vic told me about.
All right, that's fair. For this, how many times are you trying until you see something, or just like once or twice?
I would probably, so it would probably be like this. Okay, after an hour of traveling, I remember what we talked about. I take out the book, I check if I see anything. If I don't see anything, I'll put the book away and then start just start the thing where I look around and try and see whether I can pick up on anything, because I'm paranoid and hope that we're not being followed. I notice that there's something around my friends. I talk to Vic. Vic says, I can't see anything. There might be whatever's in your head might make you see things. And I'm like, okay, maybe they will want me to see the diary now. And I take out the diary again. And so not straight away, but over the time that we're traveling, probably like at least twice, maybe even more.
Okay.
Whenever my thoughts prompt me, essentially.
Roll 2 wisdom saving throws, please.
Roll them separately, or can I roll them with advantage?
No, separately.
Okay.
So
saving throws. Sorry, that was a check. My saving throws are much higher.
Okay.
And then another one. The first one was a check. Okay.
All right. The first time you check, there's nothing. Just what you've written previously. And it seems kind of normal. Like, sorry, something's weird going on with Observer. It seems like normal, like you would expect to find. But then you check another time again later on this time. Next time your thoughts kind of shout to you, hey, just have another look. And for the briefest moment, briefest of moments, there is a flash of the name where you see the name Etu. And again, everything comes flooding back. You are overwhelmed with the name of pretty much every detail you know about him, where he comes from, how you found out about him. And then you look up again, sort of get Vic's attention. It's gone.
While I read the name, I want to say it out loud.
Okay. That will require a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage, please. Okay. Okay. You try and say the name out loud. You manage to barely whisper the beginning of the word. You manage to croak out and it's gone. You almost like you're incapable of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, you look up to get Vic's attention to tell him that you've seen it. Just leaves your brain immediately.
Okay. Do I realize? Well, I suppose I do realize sort of that I have forgotten again, but I don't know what I have forgotten. I look at Vic, and in his head he hears, I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I'm trying to look into my diary, but I can't. You read his name, didn't you?
Yes.
What's his name?
To
What happens when I hear it?
Again, everything floods back in a stream of consciousness. As I said, like everything you ever knew about him, everything you ever learned about him, where he lives, where he's from, who he's associated with. But almost as soon as Vic finishes saying the name, gone.
And I don't remember the name either.
Nope. It is very much a case. It's that really frustrating thing where you remember once someone points it out to you, you're like, well, obviously. But then once your interaction with that name has ended, you just stop. It goes completely.
I tried to shake it off, this weird feeling, and then I look at Vic. It doesn't work. I say it out loud. It doesn't work. Can you say the name out loud? I need you to remember it, and I need the other ones to know because I can't.
okay. So this is so the name of I was saying this to everyone else. Like, so the name of this being that Nell is, I don't know, powered by. It's called Ertu.
Wait, Nell's powered by a being?
Well,
Yeah, what's going on here? I knew there was someone she spoke to that was powerful. That's how we got
yeah,
the
that
hack,
thing.
but that was the only time, right?
I think it's like some kind of like, I don't know, weird. I don't know, some weird evil thing.
Old, we talked. No, fuck! I don't know about this anymore. Never mind. That was in the Feywild, and I don't remember this, so never mind.
Yeah. I suppose I would briefly remember talking
Because-
about how she sometimes loses lucid control, but I don't think she ever mentioned there being something potentially. Oh, but I think we tried to find out whether there was anything possessing her, but we couldn't.
Yeah, and she wouldn't know, and she still doesn't remember. But I was trying to allude to a specific conversation that we had, but I can't because it was in the Feywild. If you don't remember it, then I don't want to metagame this.
No, yeah, I remember it, but I don't think we mentioned any.
No, we didn't. But
No.
this is no, I can't. I wouldn't. I don't. I mean, I had powers before our house caught fire. I always since I was a child, a little child, I could always do things with fire, or sometimes read people's minds. But anything after that fire is just all jumbled.
Maybe we need to go back there one day. Although, now I've discovered who knows what could have happened in all the time that you've been gone.
When I had the dream in the last session, which would now be like 3 days ago, I had the dream of standing in front of my house and it like essentially aging in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Did I have a feeling that that was just a dream, or did I have a feeling that that was a memory of me actually visiting?
Roll an insight check.
Inciting myself.
Yeah. It's an insight on your dream. Now that you're putting some proper thought into it, it could conceivably be real.
I think it's still there, and I've visited before, and I say this without thinking about the fact that Aqua and Sköld don't really know what I'm talking about. But it's been 400 years, and I'm not sure when the last time was that I visited and how the condition is now. But I dreamt about it, and it seemed like it was getting older, but no one has taken the house down completely, and it's just in ruins now and was overgrown with trees and shrubbery and flowers. And the farm has wasted away, and the village that... Did you say the village was gone as well? You said something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the village, I don't think the village exists anymore either. But it's been so long. And again, I don't know when the last time was that I've been there, so it might still exist.
Do you remember where it is?
Yeah, on the south of the southern island.
Wait,
South in the
Sköld, you missed the point. She said 400 years. How old are you now?
Oh, I was born 413 years ago.
Sorry, as a dwarf, the sort of ages kind of just passed me by.
But she is human, from what we
I-
can tell.
I am.
They only very rarely get past 100. You're over 400 years old. What are you, a vampire?
No, I am human. I'm not going to rehash everything right now that I told Vic, but there's things that are really complicated, and the thing that Vic knows the name of, and I can't conceivably keep in my head, is I don't know. Memories are fuzzy.
Yet again, we come to a bit where Now cannot say a name. It's in her head.
I know it.
Where have I seen this before?
It seems quite familiar. This is a recurring trope that I've discovered is sort of a weakness of mine. So, anyway, yeah, I maybe for the past 400 years or so, maybe a little bit less, I have done his bidding. And whenever I find out that I am doing someone's bidding and he's not pleased with me, he resets my memories and sends me on a different path. So who knows what will happen if I ever die? Maybe I can't die. Who knows? I know it's... I'm sorry, Sköld. I was talking to Vic about it yesterday, and I do want to talk to you properly as well, to you and Aqua, but it just... Vic was so angry at me the last couple of days. I just wanted to clear the air and make sure that you know that I'm not trying to lie to you. I just don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, definitely. I mean, we always thought that there may be something special, we'll say, about you. And well, we've seen weird things in our travels so far, so it's it's not surprising, but I'm glad that you feel like you can open up to us a bit more.
I care about you, and I know Vic doesn't trust me completely, and I just look at Vic. But I do care about you, and I don't want to see any harm coming to you, or to Aqua, or to Vic, or to myself, ideally. But if it comes to it, if I have to, I'll do anything to keep you guys safe.
I hope so, but do bear in mind that if you do lose control, we may be forced to do something about it.
I know.
Well, as long as we're all on the same page, roughly, I suppose there's not much else we can do. But if
I
you need
Oh,
help
sorry.
at all, we're always here to support you if required. We're all in this together now, anyway. No backing down.
Thank you.
It's taken to see a holy person. Maybe they can like sense what's going on. Like I know you're holy, but I mean like a properly, I don't know, a highly experienced person with maybe this kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose a higher level of cleric may be able to do something, but it all depends on, well, as you say, how long it's been going on for. 400 years is a long time. It's like a weed. It gets entrenched and grows and becomes ever difficult to remove.
Well, oh, sorry. Sköld, you have experience with religion, don't you? Well, that's the rhetorical question because I know the answer. Have you ever come across someone like me who I'm not, I don't want to say I'm possessed because I know I'm not. Any decision that I'm making is maybe not a conscious decision, but I never feel like it's not from myself, however bad it might be. But still, obviously, there is this thing inside my head. Have you ever come across someone like me?
There are people within my ranks, if you will, that could be considered possessed by the god that we worship, but it's much more of a mutual understanding and more beneficial. Usually they call upon our god in times of need and maybe even for inspiration. In some ways, you could say it's not much different, as I'm sure some people would call that heresy and blasphemy, but I can see the parallels.
But what if this is a mutual relationship?
Well,
Because Vic mentioned something last night. Vic used the word pact. That's like a contract, isn't it?
yes.
That would have meant that I made a decision voluntarily.
Well, there is the potential that you may have done something in the past, and yes, voluntarily caused this, but well, that's of course impossible for me to say.
Who knows?
And if that is the case, then, well, those do tend to be the more difficult ones to remove from what little knowledge I have because, well, it's voluntary.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. As the day progresses, you come across a few other people, a few other traders especially. One looks particularly affluent. And upon passing, they give you a wave and you kind of have a quick nosy, and they do appear to have some spice with them.
Okay, what food spices? Yeah,
Food spice.
just checking. Either way, I'll buy it, but
For 5 gold, you get an assortment of spices and herbs and stuff like that you can, add to your collection.
these like spices that will last a long time, like
Yeah, they're like ground down and dried out.
so, and they're, like enough volume that will last for like a long like months potentially.
Depends how liberal you are with application.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but not the one use kind of thing for 5 gold.
No.
Lovely. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm not tight like Nell.
Wow.
What about 10,000 gold sitting in your pockets and you're like, we're like moaning about 10 gold the other day. Like, right, 5 gold. Boom, boom, boom.
I love how you're just casually calling her out. You're like, yeah, come on, dude. Like,
I'm not. Because I've dated both. Cool. I guess spices. Well, remember I've got them as well.
just add to your inventory just various spice.
That is very expensive spice.
It might be worth it. We'll find out. I won't make it seem to the trader that I'm loaded. Yeah.
So yeah, you head off for the rest of your day. And as day turns into evening and eventually night, you settle down for your second night.
I don't want to bring it to your attention, but I think the automated moving algorithm has put me in a bush.
Me too.
Fine, you're fine.
Gotta pee sometimes.
I can't see where Sköld is because I've just made it
No,
dark.
I'm on the like left-hand side, bottom
Down
left.
here.
No, you're still moving. Fine. There's no wall stopping you from coming back in. You're just walking. You're like the NPC in a game that's just walking against a wall. You're fine. It's fine.
Oh dear, intentional.
Again tonight you get another sort of pre-arranged camping spot essentially. And after a busy day of walking, get your tent set up nice and quickly. Who's doing watches again tonight?
Can we cook our stew first?
You can cook your stew. Make a survival check, whoever's cooking.
All right.
Nell is going to sit aside, being very quiet and just looking a little paler than usual. And she's already usually not that pale because I just remembered she's a person of color, but you know what I mean.
Imagine forgetting. You, Sköld, you settle down to start cooking your stew, and everything goes fine. Very tasty.
What I'm talking
Nice.
about.
Good job.
Does Aqua eat it?
Oh, Josh's internet keeps dropping out, which is why he doesn't talk very much.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you replied, but I'll say yeah, probably.
Okay. I was gonna start a conversation and be like, Aqua, I thought you were vegan.
Starting now, he is. If his internet's not good enough to stay in the game, he's vegan from now on. Nah, it's all good. Yeah, he messaged me. He's like, my internet keeps dropping out.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You settle down. The stew's very tasty. The fresh fruit, the fresh veg, and meat goes well together. Sköld has expertly put in enough spice to make it just enough of a... It's very tasty.
Now
I don't
Nell
do
only
food,
eats a
okay?
little bit.
Only a little
Nell
bit.
only eats a little bit. She and then after a while pushes the plate away from her. Sorry, I'm not feeling very well. Just don't feel very hungry. Sorry, it's very tasty, Sköld, but I'm not very hungry.
It's okay. Not going to force anybody to eat it.
You deal 1 point of feelings damage.
Emotional damage.
If it's still there tomorrow, I'll have some tomorrow.
I'm sure it'll keep. It's a stew after all.
And very soon after that conversation, I'll just crawl into the tent and lie down to sleep.
Okay.
Now's primary mode of transportation is crawling.
Yeah. Her speed is now down to 10 feet per round because she's crawling everywhere.
Okay. Who's taking watch first?
I'll take the first one. While I'm
Okey-dokey.
finishing off Nell's bowls.
Nice. Nice. All right, roll a perception check for me. There we go. Finally came through. 17. You are incredibly aware tonight of just how much the ground is trembling. At some point, you can hear the rumbles. And the black smoke from the volcano is visible even to the dark sky. Other than that, the watch is quiet. There's no nothing to worry about. It's quite peaceful if it wasn't for the looming volcano and, moderate earthquakes.
Yeah. Vic thinks maybe we should just leave the island. It doesn't seem like a good idea to be here, but
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed.
The rest of your watch passes unless if there's nothing else you want to do.
No, don't think so. No, I'm good. I'll wake Sköld, I think, this time.
Okay. Sköld, you are awoken by Vic. Middle of the night. Pitch black outside. Far less pleasant than the last time you were woken for watch, but... Okay, never mind. Roll a perception check for me.
Oof.
On brand. It's a quiet night. Sky is a bit cloudier than during the day. The smoke from the volcanoes kind of looming somewhat over the island, but other than that, it's all right. A few people pass by, quick chats, pleasant. If nothing else, taking watch in your own country is comfortable.
Yeah, more relaxed.
Much more relaxed. You kind of know that there's less of a threat here, just objectively. Whomst shall be woken next?
I would say Nell, just because I want to make sure she hasn't burnt anything down in her sleep.
No, seems okay. So far.
Good.
As you wake Nell by giving her a bit of a shake, she just bursts into flames.
Fireball.
Everybody takes 92 points of damage.
Everyone is instantly dead.
No,
Nah,
they're not.
Vic's fine.
Oh wow!
Um,
Actually, I'm not instantly dead either. No, this Aqua, we're just caught.
No, it's fine. Nell wakes up. Unlike this morning, she wakes up without a problem.
She stretches herself. Oh, yeah, okay, my turn. And she takes her backpack outside with her again, with her stuff and her weapons. But she just sits by the fire and she takes out her Hellfire Whip. She's not using it per se, but she's going to have a look, and specifically trying to channel whether it's channeling any memories, or whether it's sparking any memories even.
Sorry. I had a dog annoying me. I missed the last bit. You're looking at what, sorry?
Well, she's getting out of the tent and she's sitting down by the fire and she's taking out her Hellfire Whip, not to use
Okay.
it, but to look at it, study it, and see whether it sparks any memories or whether it sparks any feelings, whether she can particularly channel it, because she knows it's from her. She's gotten it from, or she's got it from her patron, and for a specific reason. She doesn't quite know what the reason is, except that she knows she needs to use it, but she wants to see whether it's sparking anything.
All right. Roll a wisdom check for me. You look down at the whip, and as you're sat there, cross-legged, you become acutely aware of the passage of time. There's birds in the sky that have gone from kind of chirping quietly to shrieking unbearably. The flapping of wings from them sounds like what you imagine a dragon would sound like flying overhead. The rumbling in the ground from the mini earthquakes just becomes so loud that it sounds like the whole world is crashing down around you. And then there's a sound of fire, a familiar sound of fire, as you look up from your whip. You're once again finding yourself in your bedroom. No flames this time. You're sat there staring at your hand as a little flame pops out and disappears and crackles. And then there's a noise that takes you by surprise. You're not expecting it. And it makes you jump, and a burst of flame spews out from your hand, and oh shit, the bed's on fire. You start patting it down, but the more you pat the bed down, the more fire spews from your hand. Suddenly, you are just engulfed. And you hear a voice, but the voice is muffled and unclear. You feel yourself talking. You can hear your voice, also muffled and unclear. Just sounds in and amongst the screaming flames. And then you see the hands emerge from the flames and wrap around you and pull you in, and you are outside. Your father stood at the door. Your mother stood behind you. Your mother gets your father's attention. He turns around, he looks at you, relief on his face mixed in with the fear. And then the arms reappear and pull him in, and you hear the pop of him just disappearing, and then the same sound behind you as your mother is also taken. And you wake up. Broad daylight. People walking around you. Your friend's still fast asleep.
I suppose I fell asleep during my watch. Do I remember this dream/memory?
Vividly.
Okay. I take a deep breath. I put the Hellfire whip on my belt as I usually do. I take a deep breath. Do I know how much time has passed? Or like roughly, can I tell whether it was past Aqua's watch theoretically?
Well, it was pitch black when you took your watch, when you started your
Yeah.
watch. Probably early, like late, just past midnight, maybe. Very
Oh,
early
shit.
hours.
Okay.
Well past his watch. It's well past
Okay.
your watch.
I get up and look around, and I
The first thing you
don't.
notice as you stand up is the
Mhm.
ground, the dirt underneath you is just blackened. Your Hellfire Whip was still in your hand. You were sat cross-legged with your Hellfire Whip in your hand where you were looking at it, and it was still in the same position. You're very achy. Almost like you haven't moved for however long you were dreaming, visioning, seeing.
So essentially, there's a butt imprint on the floor that is scorched from my
Pretty much.
hot butt. Okay. I get up and I crack my limbs and I crack my shoulders, and I see the blackened ground, and I just half-heartedly, not really fully minding, but still half-heartedly, just with my foot brushing some sand over it so it's not that visible. And then I ignite the fire again and make some sort of hot beverage that wakes everyone up. And yeah, get some water from a nearby water source and make some hot water and watch. While I do that and wait for my friends to wake up, I watch the people who are walking by and examining our faces, or my face, and just see if I see anything suspicious.
Okay. Nothing suspicious, it would seem. Just a strange morning, I guess.
Yeah.
The rest of you wake up late, having overslept because you weren't woken up by now, or no. There's the smell of sort of like, it's almost like the smell of coffee wafting through the air. She's making beverages for everyone.
Morning.
As you all come out of the tent and see Nell sat there, or stood there, however she is, you can see that the burns have started creeping over to the right-hand side of her face. Not engulfing them, but just like stretching across.
Wonder what happens if they get all the way across.
What do you mean? What?
I'm just pointing her face. You might want to have another look.
I don't want to have another look. I just feel my face and I feel where they are.
They're quite pronounced and apparent. Aside from your neck now, all the way up the right-hand side of your face, it's just like snaking scars. Similar to the burns you've already got, but they seem fresher.
Pressure. Oh my god, that's creepy.
You feel them.
Okay.
Now that they've
Yeah.
been pointed out, it's very sore. That damage you took yesterday, still there.
Do I still have a headache?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine.
What are you guys doing?
Well,
Getting
first
dressed.
better pack up here and get moving on our way.
Yeah, I'll dress up. I mean, I wouldn't. I'd probably like. Wait a minute, didn't Aqua do a watch? But I don't know. I wouldn't know that Sköld what order he woke people up in, so I wouldn't know. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know whether I was. Actually, I wouldn't know.
No, you would know because you woke me up and Aqua is like back in bed.
Hmm.
So, or still in bed even.
I just paid no mind to it.
Yeah, I fold the tent away, armor on, and
Okay.
head out for the last day travel.
I think it might be.
Day 3, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the last day.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as we're making good time, I guess.
You've been making. It's been good time. Like there's no, no delays. Like it's been smooth sailing. There's been no rolls for it because the roads are so like well maintained, looked after, safe. That it's just been walk for 8 hours, or longer, rest, continue. A day's travel, rest, day's travel. Much the same today. You set off, and the volcano, looming large in the distance, like it's becoming ever more imposing the closer you get, as these things tend to do.
Is the crowd that we're seeing on the road, is it getting more? Is it getting less?
It's definitely increasing.
Okay.
Basically, ever since you passed the crossroads, which is pretty much where you are about a third of the way into the day, heading towards Khir-Doral, it gets very busy. Like you're kind of hunched together, and people are kind of having to walk in an orderly fashion to make sure that it's safe to walk.
They
Is there anyone? Sorry.
Sorry.
What?
Does it seem like by the chat that they're evacuating because of the earthquake kind of ground stuff?
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay, it's just busy in general.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like they're all heading towards the city mostly.
Okay.
There's a few.
And coming from other directions as well, right?
Yeah, like from the north, from the south.
Gotcha.
There are a few people that have kind of been keeping pace with you. You catch up with them for a bit. They get ahead, then you get ahead, and so on. But for the most part, it's mostly people heading to the city. A few people leaving.
Is there anyone passing us, either passing us or coming towards us from the city? Either way, do we encounter anyone who is in a vehicle and seems relatively important? Like maybe a politician, maybe a cleric, or something like that. Someone who doesn't travel alone, just traveling with an entourage, essentially.
You've seen farmers and traders with their wagons and carts. You haven't seen anybody deemed important that would have, like wheelhouses and stuff like that. Or at least you haven't passed anybody that would fit that description.
Okay.
Most of the travel towards the city, again, farmers, locals, sort of local traders, a few merchants that are coming from other cities to trade, It's a varied and eclectic group. Still no non-dwarves unaccompanied. You have been very aware of that. They're always accompanied, and some more so than others. Some are literally just surrounded by dwarves. There was at one point you did see, probably early in this last day, coming from the north, there was a prisoner transport, and it was basically a cage on wheels, being dragged by horses, which is not necessarily rare but uncommon. And the two dwarf guards that were, taking them were making sure that they had a clear path. They didn't want to be disturbed or diverted in any way. The prisoners inside was a sort of very scratty-looking human, beard grown quite long and shaggy, and hair just kind of all over the place. And then a tiefling that still looked fairly well put together, but you could tell has some days without being well kept, But that's the only sort of official type vehicles you've seen.
Can I retcon something a little bit? Just a few hours, like right after I woke up from my trance sleep, whatever, to before the group woke up.
Is your name still Nell? It's like, hello, my name's Pete.
Completely different character.
Literally.
No, Emma, I want to do something small just in that.
Right.
I want to use my second sending spell.
Okay.
Without the others knowing.
All right.
And she's sending a message to Rukin.
Okay. What are you saying?
Hold on.
Hold on. 3 words.
Nell here. Sorry for doing this without your consent. Just wanted to check whether you got out of prison and if you are okay. Speak to you soon. Bye. Bye.
I'm pretty sure that was 5 too many.
No, that was exactly 25 I counted with.
Maybe I was counting syllables. Wasn't expecting to hear from you again. I'm making progress. Be seeing you soon.
Okay. And we fast forward again to we're actually traveling.
All right.
Back to reality.
Okay. The closer and closer you get to the city, eventually, the 3 of you who have never been here before, or at least never remember being here before, are kind of almost taken aback by the sheer scale of this city that's just jutting out of a mountain. The main walls of the city reach about 100 feet tall, but you can see that instead of stone blocks, they are walls strewn from the stone of the mountain. The city has been carved out of the mountain and just left to look natural. From certain angles, it doesn't even look like there's a city there at all. There are the one main road that you've been following splits off into 3 and sort of enters, like, encircles the city basically into 3 different areas. One sort of more northern, one western, and one southern. The doors, the gates into the city are also strewn from the same stone that the mountain provides. Sköld, you know that you know of the techniques, like the ability of some of the more ancient builders and crafters from Khir-Doral is legendary among your people. How they managed to develop the hinges on these gates out of the same stone that the gates and walls are made from is nigh on like miracle work in a way. To outsiders such as Nell, Aqua, and Vic, this just looks like magic. But the stone is still very rough. It's still very natural looking. There's no obvious carving, engraving, or kind of like embroidery on it. It's just natural stone. You can see placed sort of periodically around the wall are 8 watchtowers that extend a further 20 to 30 feet taller than the 100-foot wall as it is, and all 8 of them have almost unbroken line of sight around the kind of plains around the city. For about 5 miles around, like from the walls of the city, is just pure flat land. Some of it has been allowed to be farmed. The city has allowed farming to happen, but only with from 3 miles out to 5 miles. So there's a 3-mile just empty gap before the city that allows perfect sight lines and no interruptions. Any of the dead sort of willowy trees that you have seen as you've been walking, just gone. The sight as you approach, with the smoke from the volcano like billowing into the sky, kind of casting a cloud or a shadow in the sky as well as the ground, is a sight to behold. And you can see on top of the 100-foot wall, just every now and then, glistens of color as well as just sort of like reflections almost, which Sköld knows are guards posted, keeping watch. The rest of you, it just looks like gems placed on top for ornate purposes. The crowds entering the city, they are kind of they all split off, knowing which way to go, whether they need to go to the northeast or northwest or south side of the city. And as you approach them, which door are you going for? I'll start with. You go north side, west side, or south side?
I would say north side.
North side. Okay. If nothing else, just to give yourselves a bit more of a chance to admire the skill that these dwarves have shown, you go for the kind of longer route around. And approaching this northern gate, there's a small squadron of guards keeping guard and kind of taking note of all of the civilians and peasants that are entering the city, and the same for the civilians and peasants and whomsoever else wishes to leave the city. They do periodic searches. It's similar to every other city you've ever been to, you know. As you get closer to the gate, however, Aqua, Nell, and Vic, you notice that there's a distinct lack of buildings. And you get closer and closer and closer until you're basically right up to the gate. The gate itself extends to about 50 feet. It's like extravagance personified. For such a short race, having such a tall gate seems a bit excessive, but you know, it is what it is. You get closer and you're right underneath the archway of the sort of circular topped gate, and you see beneath you a stairway that kind of winds down about 200 more feet into a city that is just different layers upon different layers. None of them covering each other. They are just literally blocks that have been carved out to a certain level, stopped and built upon. And each has bridges, stairs. Some have rudimentary lifts that are manned for with dwarves ratcheting lifts up and down constantly. And like before you just is a sprawling city that's on so many different layers that it's almost impossible to comprehend. And the guards kind of chuckle at the newbies that have never seen it before, and they're just like, "Yeah, it's impressive, isn't it?"
That's quite like that's quite literally what Nell does. She's just in awe, her jaw hanging, looking around at the vastness and the beauty of the city and the gates.
Mm-hmm. All of the layers and stairs are again carved stone. Like these are the natural rock that was here before the dwarves settled, and the a lot of the buildings and sort of habitations are also just the naturally carved stone. The only non-natural bits are the like bridges and lifts, essentially. And it's a beautiful thing. And
even I find myself in awe of the construction after being away for so long.
yeah, I mean, it's always impressive. The few times you've been here previously, it's always struck you. Just at the complexity, the just the mastery of the art to be able to create such a thing. Always like just kind of chokes you up a little bit, and that's nothing to be ashamed of because every dwarf is like that. It's a point of pride within your country, within your people, of just how impressive Khir-Doral actually is. It's a city carved from a mountain. Unlike dwarves elsewhere in the world who live in cities built underground, underneath mountains and such, this is a city built into, and it is a mountain. It is the mountain. Yeah.
It is absolutely gorgeous.
It takes my breath away every time I see it.
Any? I know it's more of a giant thing. But any runic symbols anywhere on any carvings?
Make a perception check. Or investigation, whichever you prefer.
A perception.
Is Josh just gone completely? He's been in Discord, but
I think so. I don't know if you can actually
Do anything.
do anything, no.
okay.
Can you pick up the dice I threw at him? I threw a dice at him.
Poor Benson.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, there we go. You found it. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, I think Josh has gone completely. I don't know.
Okay.
You'll just have to watch the video.
I was about to say he just has to catch up on the video.
I feel like there was a question other than that I got distracted by because the dog was squeaking.
Runes.
Runes, yes, sorry. On the outside of the walls, nothing. It's very plain. Well, it's not plain. It's still beautiful in its own right, but natural. On the inside, you do see signs of runes. Not necessarily runes carved into anything, but you see the effects of runes that you know about. Some of the lifts are assisted by runes that are carved into the mechanisms for ease of use and such like that. There are definitely influences, if not direct action from runes and things like that.
Okay, cool.
Which you would probably have expected, because the closest race to giants that you know of are the dwarves. They kind of mesh together quite a lot, which indicated by the clapping, I guess, is so they kind of have some common ground quite often, and yeah. So this looks like a place that could be quite good for working out, or
Mhm.
discovering. However, we'll do that next week. We'll pick up the session from there.
We-
Good job, guys. You didn't die. More specifically, good job now. You didn't kill anyone.
I died
have
on the inside.
Kind of.
Nice.
But that was a good session. Enjoyed that. We will investigate, discover, and explore Khir-Doral next week. There's
And we
lots-
will explore the beyond next week.
No.
Ah. Yeah, so next Tuesday, 10 out of 10. More Scales of Destiny, exciting times. The VOD for this session will go up on YouTube on Thursday, 6:30. Episode 29 will happen. I'm gonna keep trying. It's just not going. I'm so annoyed.
Work in progress.
It's all glumped together. It just needs to upload. Anyway, there won't be Ancient Unknowns on Saturday, due to reasons. And then also there won't be Ancient Unknowns next Saturday because I'm actually going out.
Potentially, there won't be any Ancient Unknowns the week after either.
We'll finish that campaign one day. We might have to do it on another day. However, Scales of Destiny will still be here. We've got so much to do. Lots of things are afoot. However, for now, AU will return. Exactly. Now we will just bask in the glory that was that session, and we will return next Tuesday. We'll do something. We'll see. Anyway, for now, we'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.